Hello, Geminis, and welcome to this, your final reading of 2023. Can you believe that we're actually at the end of the year already? I'm just feeling a little overwhelmed. Okay, for those of you who are new here, thank you so much for trusting and clicking and joining this video. And for those of you returning, thank you so much for continuing to support my channel. Before we dive into your reading, I do have an exciting announcement. By the time this video is posted, I will have made live the link below for my annual 13 card special. Now, I only offer this once a year. It is a special reading that needs to be done between December 15th and January 15th. And it is a reading that involves pulling one card for each month of 2024, as well as an anchor card that will tie everything all together for you. So if you are interested in having a private consultation with me so that you can have an overview of what 2024 has in store for you month by month, check out the link down below and you can book on my website. Okay, without any more promotion, let's get started. Now, Geminis, the last reading that I did for you was for the time frame between December 1st and December 15th. And that reading, you had 2 jobs for that time frame. The cards indicated that you needed to be doing some shadow work as well as making plans. And there was some stuff that kind of came up in the cards indicating that some of you were kind of spinning your heels and that you didn't have any firm plans. You kind of had a few ideas floating around, but you didn't have anything narrowed down as to exactly what it was you wanted to be doing. And so the universe was doing one of these. Oh, she wants to go over here. Oh, no, he wants to. Oh, and so, yeah. And then there was the shadow work that came up. So hopefully you guys have had an opportunity to look into doing some shadow work, as well as really, really narrowing down your plans and exactly what it is you want to manifest. Now, let's get started. The first cards that we're going to pull for you are going to be the cards of where you are at now. I am getting called strongly over to these decks over here. Which one? This one. Okay. Now, for those of you who are new here, I do not edit my videos. What you see is what you get. I expect authenticity from psychics that I may consult myself. And yeah, so that's what I put out there on my channel. And I work with a number of different oracle cards as well as tarot cards. So let's see what's coming up for you. Okay, where you're at now. Trust in higher forces. You have the shaman coming up. Let's hold this back here so that there, it will come into focus for you. We have the shaman card coming out, and it is the card of trust in higher forces. And I want to point out that the animal that is on this shaman's head is the owl, and we do refer to the owl quite often as the wise old owl. And the wise old owl, because they are nocturnal, are our access, one of the animals that is our access between the ethereal and this 3D plane upon which we live. And when we have the ability as well as the trust to access the ethereal plane, and some people call it the subconscious, some people call it the unconscious, whatever the case may be. And as a certified hypnotherapist, I can tell you there is a difference between the subconscious and universal mind and unconscious and so on. But I'm not going to get into that for you guys. If you would like to see a video specifically about the different levels and so on, by all means, put a comment in. But getting back to where you are at now, you are in the place of the shaman, where the cards are calling upon you to begin that process of trusting in the unseen world, trusting in the ethereal, trusting in those little nudges that the universe is giving you. Whether that be finding dimes or pennies because someone who has crossed over is trying to get your attention, and most often it's dimes and pennies, but there are other ways that they like to get in touch with us, or whether that be a nudge that you should take a different route home and then you follow that advice only to get home and find out later that there was a really serious car accident on your normal route and you would have been stuck there for hours on end in potentially a snowstorm, whatever the case may be. When you begin, Gemini, to trust in the unseen world, all of a sudden it begins to open more doors. And I also want to point out to you that when we acknowledge that we have received guidance from the unseen world and that we've followed it, just by way of saying thank you and acknowledging it. And even if you don't understand exactly where it came from, even if you don't know whether it came from an angel or from someone who crossed over, or whether it was just your gut instinct, whatever the case may be, wherever that information came from, when you acknowledge that that's the reason that you made that choice or that decision, all of a sudden, wherever that information came from gets super excited and they proceed to give you more information and more information and more information, but you have to be listening. And that's essentially what this card is saying. Let's move into what you are focusing on and see what comes up for us. What are the Geminis focusing on for the last half of December? Focus for Gemini. Where are they putting their attentions? What's going on? Oops, I need to move my phone. At least I silenced it, but it's going off crazy over here. Let's move that over there. All right. What are the Geminis focusing on? Whoops, and that one's on the floor. See, I told you. I don't edit. Now you get to see me bend over and try and pick it up. Okay. Is there anything else that the Geminis are focusing on? Oh, there's two more cards diving out, and those two came out at the exact same moment. Let me bend down. Oh, that was a long way down. Okay. So one of the things that you are focusing on is the Knight of Pentacles, but the Knight of Pentacles came up in reverse. Unfortunately. So this is a card of unexpected delays when it comes up in the reversed position. So that's one of the things that is consuming some of your time and your attention at this time. And you also have, all right, you also have the Five of Wands in the upright position, which can be about competition and specifically economic type competition. Gemini, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie. Arnold Schwarzenegger was in it. And it's a Christmas movie. Quite fitting that it comes to mind while I'm doing this reading for you right before Christmas. But it's about two dads who forget to go shopping right before Christmas. And the two of them end up in a huge fight over a toy that they both want to get for their child. Anyway, it is kind of comical, but it also speaks volumes about the competition that people get into at this time of the year. So the fact that you have this Five of Wands coming up in this position of what you're focusing on, it is an indication that you may be feeling the pressure to go out and spend more than what you should. There's that word, should, could, would. But yeah, this card coming up, you don't have to compete with anyone at this time of the year. And the final card that you have here is the Wheel of Fortune, and the Wheel of Fortune also came out in reverse. Wheel of Fortune is also about delays. So you do have two cards here, both in reverse. Sorry, my light is reflecting off the cards, but both of these cards came out in reverse. Both are indicating a delay. Again, the Wheel of Fortune is a delay because of a lack of commitment, like a not knowing which way to turn. And this Five of Wands coming out in reverse may be speaking to that, because when we compare ourselves to others, Gemini, rather than living our own truth, then yeah, the universe is going to delay our gratification on certain things. So these are what's coming up, some of what you are focusing on. It may seem like it's all doom and gloom, but it really isn't. It is a heads up to not be in that place of competition at this time of the year. You don't have to compete with anyone for someone else's attention. You don't have to compare yourself with someone else about who's buying who gifts and how much everyone is spending. Please, Gemini, just push that out, out, out. Like, don't get caught up in the consumerism and insanity of this season. But basically, that's what these three cards are all indicating that you may be feeling as you move into the latter half of December. Now, rather than pulling any cards for you for difficult influences and challenges this month, I think that these three cards that came out for your focus are really, really speaking the volumes as to what you are going to be working on for the latter half of December. You're going to be working on getting some clarity on exactly where it is you want to go, what you want to do, because the Wheel of Fortune in the upright position is all about a whole bunch of new opportunities presenting themselves. But when it comes out in the reverse position, it is about things being delayed, and they are being delayed typically because either there's a lack of commitment there or there's a lack of direction that being put out to the universe. Like there may be a duality even happening there. And again, the Knight of Pentacles, or Knight of Pentacles, is also about delays and frustration. So I don't think we need to even pull cards for difficult influences, because this is a challenge for you as it is moving into the latter half of December. So let's move into messages that the universe wants you to hear at this time. What messages does the universe want Gemini to hear? All right, we have two cards. Yeah, these two cards make sense with what I was just saying. So the first one is focus on the positive. Messages that the universe wants you to hear at this time. Focus on the positive. And that makes sense because the cards are indicating that you've got some delays coming up. And as well, I'm not going to take the time to go and look up the name of that movie. Like I said, it's a Christmas movie. It's got Arnold Schwarzenegger in it, and he's competing with another dad for a toy. If any of you know which movie I'm talking about, please, by all means, put the title of it in the description or in your comments down below. But anyway, that movie is coming to mind, the craziness, the insanity, the competition December has become so not what it was ever meant to be. And whether you follow Christianity or whether you follow Judaism or whether you follow Hinduism or Islam or paganism or Wicca, it doesn't really matter which category you fall into. Unfortunately, in these modern times, what was originally intended to be a celebration and a gathering of people for the purposes of sharing the abundance that the fall harvests had given to us has just turned into something that many people are no longer even participating in because they're offended by it. So Gemini, don't allow yourself to get caught up in it. Focus on the positive. Try not to compare yourself to others. And the other card that you have for messages that the universe wants you to hear is practice moderation. And that's exactly what I was saying here before I ever even pulled this card here. If you're feeling like you need to compete with someone else, No, practice moderation. Practice moderation in the amount that you are consuming, both consumerism by way of purchasing new things or purchasing gifts, but also practice moderation with regards to the amount that you are physically consuming and putting into your physical body. Now, I am not a doctor. I'm not allowed to give formal medical advice, but this does come out every single year. Watch the consumption of the alcohol, watch the consumption of the goodies that come out at this time of the year, watch how much food you're putting on your plate at the big meals and celebrations. Practice moderation as you go through December, because it will pay off and it will benefit you in the new year. Let's move into what's coming up for unexpected for you. And I am going to use my new cards. Gemini, unexpected for the latter half of December. What is coming up? Got one card. Oh, and that one is way over there. All right. And this card here. Okay, we do have 3 cards out, but you're going to have to excuse me as I pick up cards from the floor again. Okay. On the floor, we have the 2 of Pentacles. We have the 6 of Pentacles. Ooh, lots of Pentacles coming out. And we have the Page of Wands. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. So the 2 of Pentacles is about having to make a decision. And the 6 of Pentacles is kind of the karma card. And the Page of Wands is about taking some action, but with a little bit of immaturity coming up in it. Most of the pages in the tarot are where we're being called upon to try not to be quite so impulsive. Sorry about that. I had to pause the video for just a moment. My son walked in. He didn't realize that I was recording. All right, getting back into it. Okay. I'm sorry. I said it was the 2 of Pentacles. It's not. I think I need to go get my eyes checked. It's actually the 10 of Pentacles. My apologies here. Okay, I'm just going to turn off the light and see if that will focus. Maybe, kind of, not really. Okay. All right, so I apologize. This is the 10 of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles, Page of Wands. 10 of Pentacles is actually a really, really positive card, but it is also a card of make sure that you are preparing for the future. Okay. It is a card of make sure that you, and here we go with the disclaimers again. I am not a certified financial advisor. This is not formal financial advice. What I am giving you is generally accepted common sense when it comes to money. And that is, if you are Canadian, make sure your RRSPs are properly invested and protected. If you are American, make sure your 401ks are properly invested and protected as best you can. If you are from the UK or from the EU or from Australia or from anywhere on the planet, this card indicates that you are in a position where you're beginning to have enough money to be able to start looking at savings, or you already have money in savings, and it is time for you to continue to prepare for the future. Take a quick look at your investments, make sure that they're invested where you want them and where you are comfortable with. And again, I'm going to go back to this shaman here. If you are advised to put money into something and your gut scrunches up in a tight little ball and you get that lump in your throat, or whatever your tell is that something is not right, and that's what I was talking about with this shaman, that you need to learn what your tells are for, oh, that's right, or oh, that's wrong. And when you learn that, when you do start looking at money and investing and preparing for the future and making sure that you have enough set aside for the future, as indicated in your unexpected by this 10 of Pentacles, then you need to make sure you know your tells, right? Because if someone comes along and says, oh, I've got this amazing place for you to put your money and invest it, and your stomach is like going, are you going to follow that advice or not? If you don't know your tells, then this is kind of what this is all about. Okay. The Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is what I like to call my karma card with regards to money in particular. Interesting. It's the card of, if you have enough to give and share, especially at this time of the year, then give and share. And even if it's not you actually being able to afford to give cash money, maybe it's you being able to go volunteer in a soup kitchen or in a church hall that's giving out special dinners at this time of the year or something like that. In a food bank, go volunteer in the food bank for a few hours, whatever the case may be. If you have the time or the financial abundance to be able to share at this time of the year, then by all means, this card is indicating, please do so. If you are in the opposite position and you're going, oh my goodness, like I'm really struggling at this time of the year, then ask. So this is the card of, don't be afraid to ask for help. And if you're in the right position, give help. And finally, this Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is kind of a little bit of an immature character, but he is also governed by the element of fire. And so he is kind of a go-getter. So this is an indication that there is a new opportunity that's coming for you. That's coming up for you. I am picking up intuitively, psychically, that this is probably going to come up after the 24th of December. Yeah, after the 23rd or 24th of December is when an opportunity may present itself to you that you don't have all the knowledge and pieces to, but you still get really, really excited about it in kind of a little bit of an immature fashion, not so much that you go diving off the deep end, but because it's something that's new to you, there is that novelty, that excitement and that sense of novelty about it. So yeah, good cards coming up for your unexpected. Like I said, prepare for the future. If you can afford to give, then give. And the Page of Wands showing a new opportunity about something that you don't have all the information about yet. And we're going to go to your final general overall outcome, Gemini. Oh my gosh, that was exciting. I'm going to have to pick up all of these cards that went flying and shuffle those up and see which cards you are actually meant to have, because there's way too many. Yeah, there's and a bunch of them are on the floor. I don't know what it is, but I always seem to put cards on the floor when I'm doing your readings. I think there's one more. Yep. There's one more down there. Okay. Okay. We have quite a number of cards here for you. Okay, well, that card is definitely one because it jumped out again. What else do we have for Gemini's final general overall outcome? And we do have two cards out. We have the Six of Summer, which is the Six of Cups. This is the card of nostalgia. And we have the King of Summer, which is the equivalent to the King of Cups. And yeah. Okay, so the Six of Summer is the card of nostalgia, wherein someone from our past may be coming forward. It is not uncommon to see the Six of Summer or Six of Cups coming out during the holiday season. It does look like there may be Let me just tap in. All right, Geminis, for those of you who are single, these two cards may be suggesting someone new is coming up on your radar. Now, the Six of Summer indicates that it may not be someone completely new to you. It may be someone from your past, but you have changed, they have changed, and so there's this new potential opportunity. But the caveat to the Six of Cups is that you may, because it's a card of nostalgia, you may be remembering things a little differently from what they really were. So it can be cautionary. So we jump into the King of Cups for you. And the King of Cups, all of the kings are all about giving advice. And the King of Cups indicates somebody coming forward and giving you advice from the heart, from a very emotional place. And so it's recommended that you sit up and listen if you are getting advice from a friend. The King of Summer may also indicate a new partner, new romantic interest. Sometimes it can. There aren't really other cards in your reading indicating new relationship on the horizon. Instead, your reading, just as a summary here, is more indicating you still have some decisions and some choices to make. You do need to make sure that you are practicing moderation as you go through the latter half of this month. And yeah, preparing for the future and being on the lookout for a new opportunity. All right, Gemini, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to wrap things up. If this resonated for you, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel so you'll receive notifications next time I post. I will be posting again at the end of December for the January reading. And as well, just a reminder, if you are interested in having the private consultation with me, the 13 card reading, the link will be in the description below. Take care, everyone.